Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to this program. It was the great physicist Albert Einstein who said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. In Zimbabwe, we have been participating in elections for the last 43 years. The elections have been flawed and illegal. So flawed that in 2008, the then Morgan Tsvangirai and his MDC managed to poll in the March election 73% of the vote, and still they failed to get into government because Zanu PF switched on their vote rigging machinery, and the recounting of the votes were to take, this is 5 million votes, took the next 6 weeks. And by that time, of course, they'd whittled down Tsvangirai's 73% of the vote, according to Mugabe's own Freudian admission, to 47%, enough to force a runoff. And during the runoff, Zanu PF used wanton violence, the worst that the country had ever seen in its since independence in 1980. Millions of people were internally displaced. Their properties was destroyed, harassed, and many of them beaten. And over 500 were murdered in cold blood during that runoff. And at the end of it, of course, Zanu PF attained the electric fortune, and Mugabe won with 84% of the vote. 84%. SADC, the regional body, realized that Zimbabwe, there's no way we can hold free, fair, and credible elections without implementing democratic reforms. And it was SADC, full credit to them, who forced Zanu PF to sign the global political agreement of 2008, in which the party agreed to the need to implement a raft of democratic reforms designed to take away Zanu PF's carte blanche powers to rig elections. Sadly, not even one meaningful reform was implemented. Morgan Tsvangirai and his MDC friends were expected to implement the reforms during the GNU, took their eyes off the ball. Mugabe bribed them with the trappings of high office, and the rest is history. Ever since the GNU of 2008 and 2013, MDC have participated in these elections, knowing fully well that without reforms, Zanu PF will rig the election process. And yet, they've been trying to convince us that they could win it. Just listen to their latest campaign for this claim that they could win the elections. Just listen to this.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Weekly Review. 2023 is our year for change. There's no better way to set our intention than to get straight into our vision for the year ahead. Elections are about more than just casting our ballots every 5 years. They're our opportunity to reimagine our nation, elect leaders who represent our ambitions, and build a new great Zimbabwe we can all be proud of. This year's election is no exception. In fact, with the overwhelming poverty, injustice, and corruption that our nation faces, this election is a fight to win back the soul of Zimbabwe and restore the dignity of the people and the promise of independence. As our change champion-in-chief, Advocate Nelson Chamisa, has said repeatedly, your vote matters. And as the Citizens Coalition for Change, we're asking each and every citizen to do just 3 things. Number 1, register to vote in your millions. Number 2, show up to vote in your millions. And number 3, defend the vote in your millions. We must win big for the citizens. And remember, if your vote didn't matter, they wouldn't try so hard to suppress it. And as the CCC, we're keeping a keen eye on the delimitation report that's been tabled and laid before Parliament. We will continue to call for transparency, lawfulness, and inclusion to pave the way for a free and fair election. Our vision for the future is one where every Zimbabwean can sing a new song without fear or favor. Under a CCC government, we will champion the arts, give artists the space to dream, inspire, and speak life into the nation. There will be room for creators to work on their trade and earn a living wage. We'll work to create an enabling environment for the arts to flourish into a thriving economic pillar, benefiting both artists and the economy at large. Citizens, 2023 is our year for change. If we believe it, we can achieve it. And so until next week, let's continue to call for the immediate release of Honorable Job Sikala, and let's continue to inspire hope and a thirst for change.
There we have it. I can't believe anything more naive than that. They keep calling Nelson Chamisa the champion for change, change champion in chief. Yet MDC in 22 years, 5 of which in the GNU, they have failed to implement even one meaningful democratic change in Zimbabwe. Not even one. And yet we are being told here he is the champion for change. Let's go back to their video. They are basing their claim that they will win these elections without any meaningful reform implemented to stop Zanu PF rigging the elections, because they've got a strategy. Their strategy is mass voter registration. Then people must go and vote en masse and then protect the vote. This strategy has already failed. As of May last year, ZEC revealed that up to the 30th of May 2022, only 250,000 new voters had registered. 250,000. CCC had set for itself to register 6 million people. So they had only managed to register 4% of their own target. I would hazard to believe that in the period between the 1st of June last year to the present, they've managed to register another 250,000. If they've done that, they've achieved a lot. But that only constitutes 8%. And yet they're still claiming that people are going to register in their millions. Where is the millions coming from? This is insane. We can't keep on participating in a process that is so flawed, that ZEC itself has never produced something even as basic as a verified voters roll. Zanu PF has already cherry-picked who can go on that voters roll. 3 million Zimbabweans in the diaspora, by Zanu PF's own claim, have been denied the vote. Patrick Chamisa was the party spokesman at the time, said that the people in the diaspora were being denied the vote because of the sanctions imposed on the regime by the West. This does not make any sense. This does not make any sense at all. You ask yourself, why should the ordinary Zimbabwean in the diaspora be denied the vote just because the West have imposed sanctions on the regime? What have they got to do with it? The real reason, of course, is Zanu PF knows that most of those people in the diaspora are there either as economic refugees or political refugees or both. And they will blame Zanu PF for their plight. Those people are not likely to vote for Zanu PF. And therefore, then that's the simple reason why the regime is cherry picking. They don't want those people to vote. And they're not going to allow them to vote. Mnangagwa in 2018, when he went to the UN General Assembly, publicly promised that Zimbabweans in the diaspora would be able to vote come 2023. And when he went back to Zimbabwe, his colleagues told him that that is not viable. Zanu PF will not be able to rig elections because, yes, in the country itself, it controls every aspect of the voter registration, voting, vote counting, and so forth. So it's able to rig. If the people in the diaspora were allowed to vote, the opportunities for the party to rig those elections, those votes, will be very limited. And the party also knows that most of those people are not likely to vote for Zanu PF. So the logical thing to do is to cherry pick. People in the diaspora are not going to be given the vote. Even if we accepted their argument that Zanu PF will not be able to travel to UK, USA, and all these other Western countries to campaign, giving the opposition the advantage. What about in SADC and all the other, the rest of the world? Why are Zimbabweans in the SADC region denied the vote? Zanu PF leaders and the opposition are free to come and go in SADC. This is the reality. Zanu PF is rigging these elections. And it is unbelievable that people are being told that somehow MDC has got strategies of winning rigged elections. And the tragedy is many people believe this nonsense. This is utter nonsense. Come the results, the same Fadzama Here will be telling the people Zanu PF rigged these elections. And yet they've been telling us that they've got the strategy for stopping it. The thing is, Chamisa and company, they are not insane. They are greedy. These are two different things. They know that Zanu PF is rigging these elections. They know that by participating, they're giving Zanu PF legitimacy. And yet, they're hell-bound on participating. Why? They also know that Zanu PF is giving away a number of gravy train seats. And for the losers, Zanu PF has even created these pollard rewards to entice the opposition to keep participating in these flawed elections. And these are what is attracting the opposition, including our friends in Triple C. They are finding those enticements, the bait, irresistible. They are not insane. They are greedy. Those are two different things. And it is the ordinary Zimbabwean who keep believing that they could win rigged elections. It is an oxymoron. Why would you want to participate in an electoral process that is so flawed that it doesn't even have the verified voters roll? Something as basic as that. And yet people are still participating. The only logical thing to do in these 2023 elections is not to participate in the process and give Zanu PF legitimacy. And in this case here, not participating and give MDC credibility as a credible opposition. They are only telling people lies about how they are going to win rigged elections to hide. They will never admit they're participating for the sake of greed. They've got to hide that. And so they pretend they can win them. And then at the end of the day, they will be the first ones to come out and say, oh, Zanu PF rigged the elections. And it's too late because you've given Zanu PF legitimacy. The logical thing to do this year, we can't stop Zanu PF going ahead with the flawed and illegal elections. We cannot stop Chamisa and company participating because they are greedy. They are after the few seats that are on offer. But what we can do is make sure that everybody knows that this process is so flawed, is totally insane to keep on participating in it, and it is equally insane to give the process credibility and pretend it was a credible, free, fair, and credible election. Zanu PF must be denied legitimacy. And one way of doing it is making sure that the opposition is exposed for what they are, greedy. And they've therefore got no political credibility. We cannot stop Zanu PF rigging the elections, but we can make sure that this 2023 is the last rigged elections in Zimbabwe. That should be our goal in 2023. Thank you and good night.